The birth of a divine revelation. The origin of the Urantia papers. Ernest P. Moyer. Moyer Publishing, Post Office Box 1206, Hanover, Pennsylvania 17331. Produced by 717-633-6705. Email epmoyer@suscom.net. Copyright 2000 by Ernest P. Moyer, all rights reserved. Revelation of the Urantia papers. The Urantia papers were revealed in Chicago, Illinois in 1934 and 1935. The papers are a divine revelation. They appeared miraculously. They did not come through the mind of any human mortal. They were placed in the custody of Dr. William S. Sadler, a noted Chicago physician and psychiatrist. The following is an account of the circumstances and factors which led to their revelation, and of the jeopardy which faced them before they were published to the world. Steps in the revelation. The revelation of the Urantia papers involved three major phases. Dr. William S. Sadler was converted to the possibility of divine beings working directly with human mortals. This phase involved the use of another human mortal to adapt Sadler to this possibility. The method employed was to entice Sadler to investigate the man's unusual sleep disorder. Sadler referred to that other human mortal as a sleeping subject. He became a subject of Sadler's psychiatric investigations. A group of people were gathered together who became emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually attached to the revelation. Those persons were used by divine agencies to ensure the physical survival of the revelation as it was introduced to the world. They were also used to provide a foundation for historic verification of the events associated with the revelation. Sadler named this group the Forum. The actual revelation by invisible divine agents was accomplished by placing the writing miraculously on paper in groups, or sets. The form was in handwriting, which was then physically transcribed by Emma Christensen, Christie, a trained secretary and member of Sadler's family, into typewritten form. After proofreading for accuracy, the original papers disappeared equally miraculously. Sadler was unable to identify the handwriting as that of the sleeping subject, with any member of his family, or with any member of the Forum. A note to the reader. In this book I make repeated references to Martin Gardner, and his book, Urantia, The Great Cult Mystery, Prometheus Books, Amherst, New York, 1995. Gardner wrote his book as an attempt to show that the Urantia papers had purely human origin. Unfortunately, he was deeply biased. Gardner had a worldwide reputation, based on his work as the author of a mathematics puzzle column in Scientific American for several decades. He also wrote several books, including his religious treatise, The Whys of a Philosophical Scrivener, Quill, New York, 1983. Based on this wide reputation, many people came to regard Gardner as a studious expert on religion as well as mathematics. I exchanged more than 40 letters with Gardner during his creative phase of Urantia, and visited with him in his home. My effort was based on the premise that the more facts Gardner knew, the more objective report he could offer. I was terribly wrong. Gardner's purpose was not to write an objective report, but to debunk a work he regarded as a fraud. He censored important information to sustain his thesis, and failed to properly do the homework for which he is unjustly famous. My purpose here is not to refute Gardner's sloppy work. I refer to his book because he was the first man to write a serious treatise on the origins of the Urantia revelation, regardless how his work was flawed. As part of my effort in the account of the origins of the papers, I felt it necessary to show how he failed to demonstrate his thesis. Ernest P. Moyer. Hanover, PA, January, 2000. William Samuel Sadler. Circa 1915, age 40. Table of Contents. Chapter Subject Page Number. 1. The origin of the Urantia papers. 1. 2. The Urantia papers. 153 names in the Urantia papers. 314 celestial agencies. 415 the human agent. 47 6. Sadler's disillusionment. 577 the maturing of Sadler. 648 Sadler on spiritualism. 829 Sadler meets the sleeping subject. 9910 A history. 114 11. Criticisms of the Urantia book. 135 12 The character of the human agent. 160 13 The strange myth of Wilfred Custer Kellogg. 177 14 My search for the sleeping subject. 190 15 The Urantia papers on origins. 201 16. Sprunger on origins. 212 17 A loose Chicago detective. 221 18 Pipeline to God. 232 19 The Sherman Rebellion. 267 20 Biddle's response. 283 21 The Baumgartner letter. 302 22 Moyer letter to Gardner. 308 23 Sadler's grave error. 328 24 Destiny turns. 348 25 How the devil got into 533360 26 The Carolyn Kendall document. 370 27 The 1945 message. 406 28 Known alterations to the text. 420 29 Text removed from the Revelation. 428 30 The Benjamin Adams letter. 441 31 Other corruptions. 453 32 Catalogue of errors. 464 Postscript. 479 Chapter Subject Page Number Appendix A Sadler's published articles and books. 480 Appendix B. Seventh-day Adventist Church Referencesto William and Lena Sadler. 483 Appendix C. William Sadler Contributions to SDA Publications. 488 Appendix D. Sadler Letters to the Whites 1901 to 1,912,492 Appendix E. Part 1 The Matthew Block Discoveries Part 1 510 Appendix E. Part 2 The Matthew Block Discoveries Part 2 533 Appendix E. Part 3 Matthew Block's Discoveries in His Own Words. 554 Appendix E. Part 4 Limitations on Sources. 561 Appendix F. Another account. 569 Acknowledgements. 575 Photographs. 578 Index. 583